All right, all right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into this love tarot story. We're going to take a little peek and see what is going on here in the topic of love. So I kind of want to look at it from the universe's perspective, but we'll see. We have a Knight of Wands, we have the Sun in the reverse, we have the Nine of Wands in the reverse. You know what I want to say is what you're running from. Because on one hand, we have somebody who's not actually wounded, but we also have somebody who's not actually happy right now, and it seems like they're seeking. I don't know. Let's say that our lead character could possibly be a Leo, right? Because we have the Sun. Um, Hi, everyone. Nice to see everybody. We have the Six of Swords. It's weird because it's like this is somebody who's seeking the thing that'll make them feel happy, or the place that they think they could go that would make them feel better. That Six of Swords says, I just want, God, I just, maybe this is somebody who just wants to get away from everybody for a while. That could be the case also. This could be somebody who's more seeking a peace of mind than a relationship. Maybe this, I said, let's take a look at the topic of love, but that's an important part too, like self-love. We have an Empress sideways. I almost think somebody wants to get away from either someone who okay, Six of Cups, someone that they care about, but they like want to forget this person's memory, and they're trying to like outrun it so they can get peace. But in truth, they're not really wounded from it. So they're still bothered. Either they're actually pissed off a little bit, they're bugged by this Empress, they're bugged by the fact that they feel a connection to this person and they wish it would just freaking stop. Is that what this is? It's like, God, I got this itch only they can scratch, and it pisses me off. I want to just, gosh, I wish I could forget that I met this person. There is a weird energy of frustration that I'm getting off of this, but frustration because it's like I want to move on from this. I want to forget this, but I can't help it. They come into my mind. They come into my mind. Three of Cups. I worry about who she's with. I want to stay away. I don't want to think about her, but then I worry about who she's with. I don't want to think of her with somebody else. Okay, but hang on. Do you want her or don't you? Because this is a little odd. Let's be honest. High Priestess. I feel like this person like yelling at me. It's like, well, what do you think? Come on, High Priestess. Of course I can feel her energy. Obviously, I'm showing that I'm irritated by it, right? I almost feel like I'm only laughing, not because I don't have empathy for this character. Okay, they're clearly in a bit of a like tangled up emotions because every card is like kind of in conflict. And then it's like, I don't know what to do. Okay, but I feel her around me all the time. And I'm asking, but is there like, do you want something with her still then? Is that what we need to boil this down to? Is do you just wish that you still had her in your life? Ace of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. Yep. I mean, aces are personal. And it's like, yeah, I want her to tell her that she loves me. Yeah, I want us back together. Yeah, I want all that, okay? But that's not what I have, so I'd rather just forget I ever met her, but she won't get out of my head. Why are you thinking that you can't, like, forget that you ever met her if that's not even what you want to do? Why are you thinking that that's what you need to do? Let's put it that way. Why do you think you need to do that? Queen of Swords, because she cut me out of her life. She turned into a Medusa, and she turned my heart to stone. You think that she put up a boundary, she doesn't want you. And now you're all upset because you can't have her because she put up a boundary with you. Yeah, Eight of Cups. She walked away and she said it was over. Okay, now this makes perfect sense. Now that we got the story. So we have an understandably frustrated, upset, discombobulated, wanting what they say they can't have because she said I'm not allowed to be with her. She walked away from me. She ended stuff with me. And now I'm the one stuck with her in my head. And it's not fair. Okay. So they were half mad, They're half broken over this. They wish they could forget it, but she's in their head. And they find themselves spying on her, and she always looks better and better every time they spy on her. Every time I look at her, God, her kneecaps are beautiful. I look at her and she looks serene and happy. I look at her and I see like that she's loving, but she won't give it to me. She's not giving me, she's not even looking my way. Okay, I can see how this would be eating them up. So it's tough because they also can't help themselves from spying on her. Why are you spying on her? Because I want to talk to her. Page of Pentacles, Seven of Wands. I keep thinking that somehow there will be some kind of breakthrough here. I'll be able to talk to her. Something will lift. There will be some kind of blockage that will just like magically get resolved, or I'm trying to unblock myself. Maybe he's hoping. And I'm going to say him, but please do remember, I don't read for genders. This could be masculine or feminine, but it's like, I wish I could see something about her that I flat out do not like, so then I could either get over her, or I'm wishing that I could talk to her. And that's why I spy. Maybe there would be something that will give me an inkling that this would be my way back in to talk to her, or I could at least decide she's a monster and I don't even like her anymore. I think this is very relatable. Like, I just wish that I didn't like you. You know, that's what it boils down to, because you said it's over and you put up a boundary with me, but I'm the one still left with you in my head. And I just wish that I could dislike you so I could let it go. Or I wish that I could find a way to still talk to you. It's one or the other. What I really wish is that you told me you loved me, wanted to be with me. That's what I really wish. Okay, so we can see where he's at. And that would be a very uncomfortable place. But why do you think she put up this big blockage? She went into Queen of Swords Medusa mode, and she did a Ten of Swords and an Eight of Cups on you and walked away. And he says, either he says, because I did something foolish, or he's saying, look, I have no idea. I took a big old leap toward her. I put all my faith. I was ready to do everything. I was ready to jump into her arms. And then she told me she just wanted to be single. Okay, that's how he feels, like she pulled the rug out from under him. That may not be true. Let's be honest. We never know. But let's see. Six of Wands upright, Death card in the reverse. Something doesn't come across right. I don't know if he did something. What is the Fool? The Fool says you were so willing to do something, and then she said she still wanted to be single. Or maybe he's saying, I was a fool, I thought she was totally single. Something's not adding up here. I'm missing something. With that Six of Wands to the Death card in the reverse, something hadn't changed, but he was feeling really awesome. So I'm wondering if maybe he thought the way he was living his life, you know, look, when we live our lives as single people, we live our lives a little differently than when we're in relationships, right? And I'm wondering if on his side, he's saying, okay, maybe I did do something a little bit foolish. Maybe I was still operating like only from my perspective, the stuff that I like, the stuff that would make me happy, the things, maybe I told her I wouldn't give up certain things because I love certain things. And maybe that was where she was like, okay, then never mind. I'd rather stay single. It could be something like that. Tell me about the Fool. Three of Cups in the reverse, the Sun upright. I don't know. He's painting this picture like, I did everything right. I was so ready to like not date anybody else. I was so happy with her. I totally was ready to invest. But then why do you think she said, oh, but I'm single? Three of Wands. Three of Wands is about upcoming future. Six of Cups. Ace of Wands. I'm not sure. This still feels really murky to me because it's either one of two things. It's that he met somebody and he was like, I'm so into her. This is going to be great. Somewhere in the next like 3 months, then we'll be totally together. In the next 3 months, you know, there won't be any other people in the picture. I'm super confident about her. It's going to be me and her. But maybe before that could happen, there was something else that was going to happen. It feels like he was like ready to change his life for her, but not immediately, not for the first 3 months. But he was like, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and then it'll all be wrapped up. But then why the death card in the reverse? See, this keeps saying something wasn't actually going to change. Is it on your side or hers? 5 of Cups. Okay, I feel like he's dodging some of like the reason that she put up a boundary. I feel like there's more to this story, but because he's so upset right now in this story, it's really hard for him to just like settle his emotions enough to be like, well, you see, here's the nuts and bolts of what occurred. Because this says she was really sad, or he's saying, no matter what I did, she was still really sad. I said I was going to be with her. Did she know that you had a plan for like in 3 months' time, this was all going to be so great? Did she know that? Or did she feel sad that there was no plan? King and Queen of Pentacles, he's like, she knew the plan. We were supposed to be a King and Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Then why was she so sad? Why did she feel like, oh, but not yet? The Hermit, because I was going to be gone. I was going to be away. Why were you so away? Why are you so silent? Because I was busy changing my life. Okay, hang on. What were you busy doing for 3 freaking months that you were going to go radio silent? 4 of Cups. Deal with illusions. I don't know if this is... either he's like, oh, yeah, well, there was that. I kind of regret something about that. Okay, it's either that he had to go sit by himself and deal with illusions. This feels very confusing to me. It feels like King of Wands sideways and 5 of Pentacles sideways. We get this retreat energy on him. I met her. It was great. I knew we were going to be together. I was so ready. We were going to be a King and Queen of Pentacles together. I made a plan. I told her how my heart felt. I was going to be with her. And in 3 months, it was all going to work, but not yet. And I was going to be gone instead first. I was going to totally withdraw from her so that I could reset my energy. And then I was going to be all hers. But instead, we didn't make it through the 3 months. And everything blew up in my face. And she became a Queen of Swords and she cut me out of her life. But when I'm trying to ask, where were you going for like 3 months? What was going on here so that you could like revamp your life? And it's like either he's saying, well, I was going to withdraw and like think quietly about who I was, or I almost feel like, what is this, like somebody's going to morph into a different version of himself? This is very confusing. It's either he's like, well, I needed to first get over some stuff, cleanse my own energy, so then I could become the King of Pentacles instead of somebody who was still kind of sad. So like I met her, she was great. I was going to be with her, but it made me realize I need to first, stay away from her for like 3 months, get my mind right. I don't know if this person was like going to go on some vision quest, some big retreat, some big, huge cleanse, something where they were going to purge old energy, or this is what they thought this was going to work out as, which this is very hard for me to follow this thought process, by the way. Or more simply, it could have been, yeah, I do have a regret. Okay, so maybe I should have told her I'm really excited about this, but I still have, this can be about money that I don't have figured out yet. This can be about a car situation that I don't have figured out yet. This can be, like I have some stuff that I still have to do for my own self, for my own happiness, for my own heart's contentment. I got to go, whatever, hike Kilimanjaro. I got to go do this for me. I don't know that they explained that to her. This is something that they had to do for themselves first, is what I would say. And it had to do with resetting their own personal energy. I'm not sure that they made this very clear to her. What they made clear is like, oh, I'm so all about her. We're going to be together. It's going to be so awesome, but it'll be in 3 months. And then they went into hermit mode to do this reset button in their life. So I don't know. Did she comprehend that the silent treatment thing that you were going to do with her? Did she know why you were saying, I'm going to be with you, we're going to be great, and then, but 3 months from now, and in the meantime, I'm going to go silent? Four of Pentacles in the reverse, Three of Coins upright, Six of Swords upright. It's almost like he's saying, well, I wasn't going to go totally radio silent. I was still going to be working on things with her, but it was just like I was going to really slow stuff down with her. Was he going to test her to see if she would like stick around? There's something is weird. What were you expecting out of her? The Justice card sideways. I kind of think that this was a little bit of a test. I wonder if she'll really stick around. I wonder if she'll stay. I wonder if this doesn't feel fair, and it kind of feels like he knows that. I think this was either a test of loyalty, because this didn't make sense. It's like, okay, I'm going to be with her. I'm so sure about this. I'm going to tell her all that, but then I'm going to withdraw for 3 months. Who does that? Who withdraws from the person that you want to build a lifetime with for seemingly not like a very explicit reason? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Maybe it was their issue, but this only because what came to my mind is he wanted to see if she'll stay. If all we have is a connection of just like a little bit of conversation, maybe this was his roundabout way of saying, like, look, in any relationship, passion can fade. I got to see if she actually likes me for me. So I want to, stay out of Dodge for 3 months so that, she can't get her hands on my awesome bod, so that I can see if it's just physical attraction or if she really, really wants to be with me, so that then I can have pre-tested the waters of like, hey, when we're old and gray and, the relationship shifts from maybe hot passion every day to, the deep friendship and the deep, love. And it's like, well, I think you can always have the deep love and deep friendship anyway. But I wonder if they were, this feels like it was unfair that they were playing a test run for how great is this love? How deep is your love? How deep is your love? Tell me, I need to know, because we're living in a world of something. Sorry, I'm hearing the Gibbs brothers. How deep is your love? That's the title of it, right? By the Bee Gees. It looks like he was testing her staying beside him kind of energy here without her knowing it. Is that why it feels so weird and so full of illusion? And because I couldn't put my finger on this. I've never had a story like this. Death card and Judgment. Yeah. I think he was testing to see, is this love going to be lasting? But darling, you didn't build this with her. And then you played a game. And I'm going to say it was a testy game. Sorry, that came out wrong. It was a game to test her because of this Justice card being sideways. He knew it was a game. He knew this was not okay. You don't get to do that. You don't play games with somebody like you're a freaking, like putting them on as a rat in a maze. Let me just see how they behave when I do this. Everything in me goes yucky. No way. Death card and Judgment. He really expected, though, that it would go differently, or that, even if it was a little bit of a rocky thing, then we'd still end up back together. I think it blew up in his face. If that's the way to interpret this, which is a very strange interpretation, and I understand that, but that's the first thing I thought of. We got the Six of Wands. This was an ego-driven thing. I think, if anything, maybe it was even going to be like bragging points or something like, oh yeah, like, I don't know if other people knew that he was like testing his romantic partner or something, be like, oh, she's crazy about me. I like to keep her on her toes, or I like to, we'll see how she does. Like, no, I just, give her a little bit to, keep her drawn to me, but we'll see. If she's the one, she'll still be around in 3 months. That's how this feels. And I'm so sorry to have such an ugly story. I'm so sorry about that. 11-8. Thank you so much, babe. Thank you so much. You're so generous, babe. Yeah, it definitely blew up in his face, because we got the Tower, we got the Temperance. Now, admittedly, the Tower's in the reverse, but I feel like if this was somebody who tested another individual to just see how they'd behave. Especially if she cut them off and then she's good. And that's maybe why it's driving him nuts. That makes a lot more sense to me now. Why it's driving him crazy that she's good without him. In particular, she's good without him. Every time he looks at her, he's like, she's this Queen of Wands, or excuse me, Queen of Cups. And I know she's super loving and she looks really great. And she walked away from me. I don't know if she figured out what the game was, but she seems really calm and really good and really unbothered by this because she already cut him out and moved on. So let's turn to her for a second. Did you somehow get this clue that either he was testing you, or why did you walk away? 7 of Cups, he was confusing. I don't want somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. So she probably didn't even go down the road of like, wow, he's playing games. High Priestess, though, sideways says, I had an inkling that there was a reason he was being weird and wishy-washy. There was a reason that he was going to be gone. He was hanging with his guys the whole ton. I don't know if he was off other places and staying away, and I don't know what was on his mind other than he felt like he was trying to confuse me, or I was confused based off of the behavior. I don't know. It's like we have the Chariot upright. When I'm asking why did she move on, I think she's like, because I only deal in certainty. You got somebody who's got the 7 of Cups. They don't know what they're doing. I can feel that they don't know what they're doing or why they're doing this, or they're confusing the hell out of me because they're confused. And I only deal in certainty. So if he knows that he wants me, he can come get me. And if not, I'm just going to go. I just think she kept it real simple. And as a Queen of Swords, I could understand Queen of Swords keeping it real simple. Here I go. I'm just going there. I'm just moving on. We got the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah. And I definitely think that this was a decision that she made like for the rest of her life, meaning she wasn't playing games, and they said she did this with a 10 of Swords. Like a 10 of Swords is not indecisive. It's like, this is hurting me, so I don't want to deal with it anymore. This is where I close this chapter because you need to know if you want to move toward me or not. Otherwise, I'll move on. And I think that's what she did here. And I think she did it with the intention of like, when I go, I really stay goed. I really stay gone. This is all or nothing. She plays for keeps. And I say that because this is all the gifted. So this is Pandora. Pandora's box, if it's not opened, is wonderful. When you open up Pandora's box and all that negativity and stuff spills out, that's it. You can't put it back in the box. And I would just say that for her, if they had just come toward her as confidently as what they first said they were going to, without this weird falderall, she never would have left their side. So here's the thing. This looks like a very interesting story on one hand, because it's like two people who see the security of love totally differently. He wanted to test the love story, be like, I'm going to stay away. I told her that I want her. I told her what this is our plans, but then I'm going to be gone for 3 months. And I'm testing to see if, she can hold it together and still want me, and she's reliable and all that. That's how he would have been able to say, okay, now I know I can trust her and she's my person. She's over here saying, you don't get confused and not know or leave me confused. My partner should be clear on what they're doing, and there shouldn't be times when I'm not sure what the heck's going on. My partner needs to give me the reassurance that they're coming straight at me. I think she doesn't do any games, and I think on one hand he thinks he doesn't do games either, but first he was playing a game to see if she's for real. That doesn't work that way. You don't get to play games with somebody so they can prove to you that they're real when they're the person who never played any games and just would have been real right out of the gate. I don't think that these two were a terrific match. We've got this 8 of Swords, and it feels like the way I just described that is like, it's making my head hurt. Let me go back to him for just a second. If this is the story, and we're just going to go with it because I don't see another thread in this. This is the story that I see, even though I have a hard time understanding it. If this is how he played this thing, How's he feeling about it now? I mean, I know he's like, I wish I hadn't even met her because I think about her all the time. We have the Hanged Man sideways. I wish I had thought about this a little bit more before I made a decision about how to handle things. Okay. Page of Swords. It's weird because I think he's learning about her now that he's not with her, and he's learning about her from a distance now as he spies on her. And what are you learning about her as you spy on her? Four of Swords. She is somebody who, when wounded, will withdraw, and she will go into complete isolation to heal when she hurts. The Magician. And damn it, if that isn't exactly the kind of person he was actually looking for, somebody who wasn't out like seeking to jump into the arms of somebody else if she's upset, somebody who actually keeps her own counsel, somebody that walks with their head high, somebody that I almost wonder if maybe underlying all of this, maybe he had an ex where if the two of them had problems or something, she'd immediately like jump into somebody else's arms, something along those lines, and he never wanted that again. So he wanted to see like, what is it like? Does somebody just get lonesome and they jump into somebody else's arms, or they need somebody else to entertain them? And now as he watches her, it's like, she broke it off with me and wanted nothing more to do with me when I played this weird game and said I was going to be gone after first saying I was going to be with her. But then she didn't go get with anybody else. As I spy on her, I see she's still out there on her own. She was the real deal. She's the person I was trying to manifest, and I actually found her. And then I played a game. This sucks to realize that I think he messed this up. And there we go again with that Three of Wands. With that Three of Wands sideways and the Wild card, I feel like, by the way, I don't know if all of this, maybe he was planning on I was going to come back around her birthday or surprise her. That also bugs me now because it's like, what if she's a good girl, then you bring her a present, like, oh, I'm sorry, this is really giving me cringe. Look, I don't think that there was any 3-month window of like, I think she was out and bounced and gone as soon as he got all kind of wishy-washy. If he could manifest a chance to do this all over, maybe if he could manifest showing up around her birthday, maybe he's really heavily thinking about that. I know we're in Libra season right now. Maybe she's a Libra. She did come up as a Queen of Swords, so that's possible. But maybe he's thinking, I wonder if the more I've watched her and I see that she's exactly the kind of person that I was hoping to have found, but she was already the real deal. If I had just gotten to know her better, I wouldn't have played that weird game. I wonder if, I don't know, maybe her birthday is somewhere in the next 3 months. Maybe she's Sag or something. But we have this energy of still wishes that they could have that King and Queen of Pentacles, right? There's this piece of him that may suddenly get frustrated enough to just try to come back into her world. It's just, I don't know about this game playing mentality here, because it kind of feels like if you do that once, will you do the game playing more? Is that like a way that he operates? I don't know. Everything in me rebels against this story. So I'm sorry that I'm having to struggle with just rolling with it. But this one's tough to me to like. King of Cups. Remember, he found out too little too late who she really was. He played a game. She wasn't playing any games at all in trying to test her to get to know her instead of just getting to know her. So now as he spied on her, he's gotten to know her better than he ever did. And if he had just started out that way, let me build real trust and let me just get to know you, he would have found out who she was. And he's still wishing he could be the King and Queen of Pentacles, the King and Queen of Cups. He sees her as super loving. He sees her as somebody that is super authentic. He also sees her as somebody that's like very self-possessed, somebody who pretty much keeps to herself. And it's like those were all the things that I was hoping to find in a partner, somebody who would want to be just with me, and somebody that, is an individual who isn't always out there trying to find someone to, keep them warm at night. I think that his fears of like being cheated on basically drove this whole story. I think if we were going to just distill this down to this single little nugget, his fears about being cheated on made him be like, I need to test her to see if I can trust her instead of just getting to know her. And sadly, he's gotten to know her from afar now that she cut him out of her life for the game playing. And yet she was everything he wanted. It's tough. This is a tough one, you know. I kind of feel sad for him because this was a hard way to learn a lesson that you should have just gotten to know her, you know. Should have invested and let her get to know you, you get to know her. I mean, obviously it was hard for him to do when he was clearly like fearful, wounded, and even at the beginning of this it was like all over the place, like I'm so unhappy, I just wish I hadn't even met her, but I can't help but still think of her, but she doesn't want anything to do with me, and she's my freaking soulmate, you know. This is very tough. Let me just ask one last question. Universe, is there a way that this could be resolved? The universe is like, yeah, be an emperor. Own the behavior, own your actions, say how you feel, treat somebody with the same respect you want to be treated with. Don't think you sit up on a pedestal above them and you play little games and put them in like a mouse in a maze to see what their reactions are. Don't do that. You wouldn't want it done to you. Treat somebody like they're a freaking empress, and you already know that this character is because you saw her as an empress, especially the more you've like watched her from afar and you wish that you didn't know that about her. You've seen her as a queen of cups, you've seen her as a queen of pentacles, you've always known she was this amazing person. You should have treated her the way an emperor would treat an amazing person, with the same respect that you would expect to receive. And that means you explain when you screw up and you handle it. You know, we got the Ace of Swords upright, we got the World in the reverse. You want to fix it, you go knock on her door and you ask her point blank, is this really over for good? Or is there a way that I could fix this if I behave like an emperor would? An emperor's going to be straightforward. They're not going to pull any punches about their mistakes. And they're not going to pull any punches about how much they don't want this to be over. So if they can get to the point of speaking truth, no more games. No, never, never, never any more games. That'll be the turning point. I don't know if this character is going to do it, but at least there is a way through this. There is a way to fix this. So maybe this was a hard lesson to learn, but it does not mean, I mean, look, this person is not a villain, right? When we got down to the bottom of it, and it's like they were so scared of being cheated on that they played a game to try to feel safe so that they didn't have to be so scared. What if she cheats on me? You know, they are not a villain. If anything, it's like, God, they must have been hurt really bad to then be so scared that they would, you know, risk playing a game or felt entitled to play a game just to protect themselves. And it's, you know, these stories, obviously I'm a fictional storyteller, right? And we get stories that are really hard sometimes, but I love the ones sometimes that are hard like this because it makes us keep digging to try to understand the characters, why they do what they did, you know, and that's the kind of storyteller I prefer to be, not necessarily always the stories that we like, but the ones that'll bring up at least the most, you know, contemplation about why these characters did what they did. How could they have done it better? I always want the best for the characters, so I always try to find a solution or ask what might be a solution to the predicament they found themselves in through their choices. And I would say this one, as much as I didn't like it, I ended up liking it, you know, because I kind of changed my mind a little bit seeing the whole thing play out. And honestly, I just kind of feel sad for the character. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Lila Bell, nice to see you in the house. Calm C, Bobby Harris. Thank you guys so much. Hey, Ruse. 11-8. Thank you again, babe. Really good to see everybody. Sweet, thank you, hon. I know. I love the Night Owl Club, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I so appreciate you guys. I know we tend to be on this channel late at night, most nights. I don't know. It's like the way I unwind or something. It's really nice, and it's such a great group Thank you guys for making the channel what it is. Voyager 2, hi. XX, nice to see you. Base God, Emperor, the reason you went into hermit mode is because she's still married. Oh, well, sweetheart, just know I'm not talking about you, though, hun. This story, please just know I'm a fictional storyteller. So I never actually, tell stories about anybody's personal life. So please never feel like you have to like defend any of your own personal actions or anything like that. These are all fictional. And we look at how the characters operate. And it's kind of like watching a movie, So, by all means, every person on earth, we all make our own decisions, and so there's no judgment on what anybody else does in their real life. There's just in these stories, yes, we're going to dig on in. We're going to be opinionated because we're watching a story play out. Johnny the Carnut, hi. So good to see you tonight, Johnny. Luminous Marina, hi. Patricia, awesome to catch you. Earth Magic. SKE80, Moonbeam Wendy, Hetty. So nice to see you again this evening. I always love to know where everybody's from. It's so nice. I love the fact that it's just a really nice big blend of everybody from around the world on my channel. I'm so delighted. I'm a big traveler and I love every place I've ever been, honestly. If I could travel the entire world, I would do that. So it always makes me so happy to be able to you know, see that the rest of the world is out there, even though I haven't traveled since I got my Aries. Kelsey Quinn Mark. Hello, smile, please. Carol, Nikki O. Not for everyone. You've already weighed in before the story began. Tell her to marry the other guy. Okay. I don't know that factored in this story, but I see your vote. You're putting your dollars in the jar for the other guy. All right. I went into some business the other day and it was, for Halloween, it was like on their tip jar, it was like, vampires or witches. I was like, oh, vampires all day. That's where I put my money in the tip jar. Crystal Suzanne, Lulu, G, Tammy Johnson, Violet, Kiwi Girl. So good to see you in New Zealand, babe. Inso Mom, Stephanie Ellis, Lena Bora, Family Count Ivy. So nice to see you again. Nat Nats, shout out to you in Kansas City, Missouri. Luminous Marina, always a pleasure to see you. Dolly's in the house. Hi, babe. Awesome to catch you. Hi, Selene. How are you tonight, babe? I love that, you guys. Lilu Bella, I'm seeing your comment. In Armenian, you would call me, and I'm going to mispronounce it, so please forgive me, but a tale teller. I love that. Oh, Hakiat Asat? Did I say that right? That's awesome. No, Raymond Torres, I am not taking any questions, babe. Every time that I do that, it's pretty rare, but on the occasions that I do, I'll make sure that I always will title the video for you guys so you'll know. And I always say, fictional storytelling is for subscribers and members. And then usually I also write, how to enter in the chat. So no, sweetheart, I'm not. That's kind of a rare thing that I do that. But thank you for asking. I'm honored that you would want a story. That's very sweet of you. Hi, Geminis, Beth Ross, Victoria Edwards, Jessica Rios. So good to see you. All right, you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Oh, sorry. My baby says it too. Wonderful. Wendy, I hear you. Wendy, you and I would probably pass each other though in many different cafes and many different exotic cities, and we'd give each other high fives because if travel was free, same thing. No one would ever see me. I'd be gone all the time. You guys, thank you so much. Robin G. Yeah, Aries is definitely in the house. Ah, sweet. I love that. You're bringing out the Persian phrases. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. 11:08. No, your heckling is adorable. Your heckling is adorable. We never take offense. Not in the least, babe. All right, you guys. Lots of love. I'll see you again tomorrow. Michelle S. Hi, sweetie. I almost missed you. Carol, it's my pleasure. Thanks for hanging out with me. All right, you guys. Bye for now.